It has been a stellar campaign for Team India in this World Cup. They have remained unbeaten so far and have reached the finals. The only other team that has managed to do this is Australia. They did it in 2003 as well as in 2007. Is it going to be a repeat of 2003 or is it going to be India winning this World Cup this time around? We'll have to wait and watch for that. Joining me right now to talk about that match is the Australian High Commissioner to India, Mr. Philip Green. Welcome to NDTV, sir.
Thank you very much, Osama. Great to be with you.
First of all, just give us a sense of the mood here at the Australian High Commission as well as back home in Australia.
Well, of course, we're very excited. It's been a super tournament.
Yeah.
And the Australian team has gone from slightly shaky start to finding a way to win, including from difficult spots in certain games. Seems that they're peaking at the right time.
Yeah.
So for us, for the whole Australian High Commission, of course, we're a group of Australians and Indians.
Yeah.
Everyone very excited. Back home, it's been a tournament that people have watched in the late hours of the evening and the early hours of the morning. Difficult to follow some of the games, but I think the excitement is really building as we get to this crescendo tomorrow.
You see, this is also a repeat of the final of 2003. And we all know what happened in 2003. Are you expecting it to be a repeat of that? Or do you feel that India in this tournament is a little different from that particular team?
I think it is different. The Indian team is the form team of the competition, without question. I think India as a playing group is more professional these days. To be perfectly honest, I think India has learnt many of the skills that Australia pioneered in international cricket. Focus on fitness, focus on fielding. So we're not in 2003, but we're at a moment where both teams are really hitting their straps, and I'm looking forward to a really exciting game.
Do you see any sort of similarities between that team, Ricky Ponting's team and Rohit Sharma's team, in terms of how they play cricket and how dominant they have been in this, especially for India in this tournament, as well as Ricky Ponting's team in that tournament?
I haven't really thought about it in that way, but watching India in this tournament, they're very balanced. They have great skills, both with bat and ball, and their composure has been impressive. So they're clearly the favourites. They deserve to be, and it's a top team. It's a very worthy opponent for Australia to be meeting.
Well, the fact that Australia, whenever it comes to an ICC tournament, it just transforms into a completely different beast. What do you feel is the reason for that?
I'd say a couple of things. Firstly, there's a level of professionalism about the way in which the team and the management do their work. So I don't think it's coincidental that the Australian team is hitting form at the right end of the tournament. I reckon that Pat Cummins' leadership is a big part of this.
Yeah.
He's got a great cricketing brain and a super leader. So I think that's an important part of it. But I think there's another factor which is hard to put your finger on, which is a never say die, backs against the wall spirit that Australians, that's our legend, that's our myth, that's what we think we are. It's epitomised by our cricketers and their determination to find ways to win even when the going looks pretty tough. So I think that's why we are where we are, and tomorrow we'll see what we can do with it.
It's interesting that you mentioned Pat Cummins as a leader. Do you feel Pat Cummins as a captain, as a leader, doesn't really get the credit that he deserves in world cricket for Australia?
Could be true. I mean, people are inevitably focused on Glenn Maxwell and David Warner, the guys who, Travis Head and the guys who are batting, Adam Zampa, the way in which he's emerged as a top-class spinner. I think more experienced cricket hands know that captaincy and management, a smart head, somebody who knows how to get a team into winning place and knows how to lead people is a core ingredient. I think Pat Cummins has got that, and I think that his reputation will only grow.
Absolutely. And in terms of the kind of cricket that is being played by the Australian team, by India, do you feel that a lot of that also has to do with the cricket that we have been playing over the years, especially during the IPL, in the bilateral series, because we have been playing each other a lot, and we tend to know each other's strengths and weaknesses. Do you think that is also one of the reasons why Australia have managed to do well in the subcontinent?
Could be, and it's not just knowing the Indian players, it's knowing the pitches, it's being very familiar with the cities and the environments.
Yeah.
The old days when touring India was a completely new experience for Australian cricketers gone.
Yeah.
David Warner knows this town really well.
Yeah.
He's telling me things about it. So I think you're right. I think that, India still has a home ground advantage, no question about that. But I think that's lessened now than what it was in the past.
Well, you mentioned David Warner and the kind of association David Warner has with the Indian fans. You don't really see that with other players, especially a foreign player. He has been posting a lot on his Instagram, etc. He is very interested in the culture. Do you see that that exchange, that cultural exchange, also helps in building that relationship with the fans, etc.?
I think that's right, and Dave is a guy who is easy with people. He's a super person to meet and engage with. I have to say I've been struck, I'm still relatively new in this country, at what his pull is here. Every time he's on the boundary somewhere, there's seem to be 100 cell phone cameras on him, and occasionally he does something to make them snap and enjoy it even more. He's a person with a great personality and really loves this country.
Yeah.
So
great dancer as well.
Apparently, certainly better than me. At any rate, he is he's someone who's really made a mark here, and that's impressive.
Yeah. Talking about the cricket side of it, India has been an Indian juggernaut, so to say, in this particular World Cup. Are you confident that Australia will be able to stop India this time in this World Cup? Going by what we have seen, India have managed to almost win one-sided in every single match that they have played, except for Australia, against Australia, where they lost a couple of wickets early. And it was only because Virat Kohli's catch was dropped by Mitchell Marsh.
That it's a memory.
But it's a completely different story right now. But do you feel Australia have it in them to stop India in the kind of form that they are right now?
Well, I think India are favourites, but I definitely think Australia have got it in them to win this match. You know, on the one hand, you've got an Indian side which has won every match and has not been tested very much during the tournament.
Yeah.
Hard to beat that as a basis for playing in the final. And you've got an Australian team which has been tested and has occasionally looked like they weren't going to win matches and then won them.
Yeah.
That's a pretty powerful ingredient to have in your player group. So I think that only makes for a more fascinating contest tomorrow.
Talking about the contest, what is that one contest in particular that you're looking for?
Well, there's lots of them, aren't there? But I'm really enjoying watching Adam Zampa emerge as a great Australian spinner. And the contest between him and Kohli will be really super to watch.
Wonderful. Also, the fact that India and Australia have had a great relationship over the years, and cricket has been one of the reasons why there are such wonderful ties between the two countries. Do you think that is one of the reasons why?
Oh, without doubt. And it's partly because we know each other, and partly because we always have something in common to talk about. I travelled across this country from Calcutta to Jaisalmer 30 years ago, and in every train carriage I was in, there was always a conversation about cricket.
Right.
That's one thing, but I think many Indians think about Australia in terms of our cricketers' reputation.
Yeah.
Tough-minded, never say die, always in the contest.
Yeah.
If I was in the Indian government, I'd want Australia on my side, tough-minded, never say die, rather than against you. I think that's the way your government sees it too.
All right. Mr. Philip Breen, thank you very much for talking to NDTV, and we hope that it's a great contest tomorrow, and all the best.
Thank you so much, Osama.
Thank you. With camera person Ashok Mahale at the Australian High Commission, this is Osama Shaab for NDTV.